You know, most therapists, whether they're newly qualified or they've been in practice for a long time, really shiver at the thought of a rapid induction. Why? Because it really takes confidence to be able to do it. And they fear failure so much that they just don't do it. It's one of those things that you need to practice over and over and over again. But once you know how to do it, you feel more confident, and it's a really good tool to be able to use. So for those therapists that think, no, it's okay, I will just go into a progressive induction, that's all well and good, but if you're running out of time, and the way that you run out of time is if you've got a client for an hour, but they're a talkative client and they need to talk, and maybe they've never told anybody else all the things that they're telling you, you might be looking at the clock, hopefully you're not looking at your watch and losing rapport, but looking at a clock that is behind the client and thinking, I am now running out of time, I seem to only have 20 minutes left out of that hour, and therefore I need to get this client into trance. So the whole thing about a rapid induction really means that. Rapid, get them into that first stage of trance. After that, you can use a 5-minute, 6-minute progressive induction, and you will have a nice trance state there so that you can start using an intervention straight away. And the whole thing about hypnosis is it's no point in spending 12 minutes in a progressive induction if you're not going to use any interventions. All that will happen is that your client will feel nice and relaxed, but you've done nothing in there. So once again, when I started in my practice in the first year, I thought, you know, there are some clients that are highly analytical. They might say, I don't think I'm going to go into trance, or you might be running out of time, or they may have had some therapy elsewhere and have even said, look, this therapist went on and on about being on a beach or in the woods or something else, and I was just getting bored, you know, nothing was happening, and I knew I was not in a trance state. That's the time to think, let's bring out a rapid induction. You really do have to have good rapport with your client. Now I'm just going to go through the motions of how you would actually do that. Maybe in another session I will show you how to get into that trance state really, really quickly. So with this one, and certainly over the last 2 years, I haven't used any rapid inductions because we haven't really been allowed to sit close to a client. And I've never wanted to work with masks on because that doesn't really work. And so therefore, when we could start working with clients again and we could work a little bit closer, and you were sure that they were well and you were well as too, that you could then say to them, look, I'd like to come and just sit near to you, if that's okay with you. So once again, we're getting that agreement. If a client said, well, I prefer you not to, well, we can't use a rapid induction. If a client says, I don't like being touched by anybody at all, then we don't do it. It's as simple as that. Your client is in charge. So if they say, yes, that's fine, I usually draw up a little stool and sit by them and I say, okay, what I'd like you to do now is this, and now my voice becomes quite authoritative. I don't know whether you've watched Gil Boyne or Erickson, but at times their voices were very authoritative, and if you've got good rapport, your client will follow you. So I say, okay, I just want you to put your hand out like that. Now they might think, oh, this is a bit stagey, what's going to happen now? Their conscious awareness is focusing on, why have I got my hand out like this? So the next bit, I say to them, I'm now going to put my hand on top of your hand. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I say 3, I want you to push up with your hand and I will push down with my hand. So all their focus is on the hands, but it's actually got very little to do with it. And then I say, at the same time as you doing that, I want you to just look into my eyes. Now you know that if we start looking at a client, so we're looking at them, and I'm actually doing it now to camera, so my eyes are defocusing a little bit and I'm looking straight at the client. So once we've got that gaze and they're not looking away, we must make sure they've got that gaze. Then I start to count. 1, 2, 3. They're looking at me, they're pushing up, I'm pushing down, and then suddenly you might find that their eyes start closing. In fact, you will say, you may find that your eyes are beginning to close now, feeling drowsy, feeling as though they want to close right now. Let them close now. If the client closes their eyes, or even just like that, we take the hand away quickly and say, sleep now. Very authoritative. Needs practicing over and over again. If they keep their eyes open, I would say, close your eyes now. So very authoritative. If they do that, we can do the same thing. We need to get that hand movement away. Sleep now. Once we've done that and their eyes are closed, you might find their head goes down. Then we can stand up and put our hand on top of their head and just slightly disorientate them at the same time, saying, that's right, that's really good. Let yourself relax, go deeper and deeper. Doing really well. Excellent, that's good. At that point we can say, now I'm going to sit back in my chair that I was in before. Let the client know exactly where you are and what you're doing. They need to know. Take deep breaths in now as I sit back down again, and then we can go into a deep now. It does work. You need to practice over and over again. If they've got their eyes closed and they're still pushing, it's too late. You've left it too late. We need to get that sleep now. So it is very authoritative. Sometimes clients will jump a little bit like that because you've been authoritative and you're saying sleep now. We know that they don't go to sleep, but it just works on that particular occasion. You might want to practice with your colleagues or with your friends or family. Just do it over and over and over again. It's what I did, and it really works. It will work for you on many occasions. It's fun to do as well, and to see what a client is able to do and what they will allow themselves to do. Till next time, goodbye.